Ever have one of those weeks where everything that could go wrong did? This week was one for the books in my business. From unexpected truck issues to pausing crucial marketing campaigns, stick around to hear how a week filled with frustrations turned into a surprising opportunity for growth and learning. The first and biggest issue we had this week was what I like to call the truck repair saga. So essentially, this Monday, it's now Sunday, but on Monday, I had to bring the truck in for routine maintenance. No big issues, just needed to get the last routine maintenance in before I went over the allotted mileage, which is 30,000 miles. The only thing I had noticed was a slight screeching of the brakes, but I didn't see any impact with the braking, so I did notify them of that, just because I don't have the biggest amount of faith in that repair shop. The only reason I go there is because they offer me the free services of the truck purchase. And so the first day, Monday, they said everything was fine, but they hadn't had a chance to look at the brakes, so they needed to hold on to it. Okay, I was starting to get a little bit nervous, but the earliest job I had on Tuesday was in the afternoon. So I figured, no big deal, I'll call in the morning, they'll tell me everything's fine, and I can go about the day. Or if it's a small fix, they'll have fixed it. Come Tuesday, it was a complete disaster. I don't know how many times I called, how many people I spoke to. It seemed there was a staffing shortage. And it took all day of me calling around and not getting answers. So I had to go ahead and take initiative. I had to reschedule the customer that I had that afternoon. And of course, apologize. I also went ahead and paused our marketing campaign because at this point, I didn't know when I was going to get the truck back, and the last thing I needed was even more customers I had to reschedule. I respect our customers' time. The last thing I want is somebody setting time aside, on Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, for us to come, and then we never come because of the truck. Obviously, communicate, but still, it's an inconvenience, and it doesn't make us look good. So, at this point, had to reschedule jobs. Main marketing campaign, had to pause it. At the same time, we'll get to this, but at the same time there was another issue. We'll get to that in a minute. And so I was getting very frustrated. I had requested that they call me back on Wednesday with an update by, I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock. Still hadn't heard anything. And at this point, I called them again and found out that they claimed there was a major issue with the brakes, to the point of it being a safety thing. I highly doubt that. I had the brakes checked by somebody else prior, and they told me there was normal wear and tear, but that they thought maybe there was some hardware that was rubbing against the brakes, which this other place said they didn't see. So at that point, I went and got the truck. We did not get any jobs that day because the marketing campaign had been paused, but that was a problem. So no, we had no jobs on Monday, we had no jobs on Tuesday, and we had no jobs on Wednesday. The next issue we had was that our email marketing campaign went down. So essentially we have a company that automates an email campaign. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but the campaign went down. I guess we had too many spam people marking us as spam, so that account got shut down, which I'm not super familiar with it. I'm still learning about this process, but I've heard that's pretty normal. You just have to create more accounts. Obviously, you follow best practices. Like, we have an unsubscribe option and everything, but that was a little bit of a bummer, and it was down for several days as well. So I notified the company that was running it. They weren't currently creating more accounts for me. I guess they thought I was going to do it. I don't have time to do that. As I've mentioned in a different video, it's really all about outsourcing whenever possible. So I tried to figure that out a couple weeks ago, how to mass create email accounts. I couldn't figure it out. I tried talking to some people. This is software that I guess helps you do it. I couldn't figure out how to do it. The people in that company couldn't really figure out how to help me with those initial steps. So essentially I said, whatever. They told me it was an extra fee for them to do it every month. I said, whatever. That extra fee was basically nothing, at least in my opinion. So I said, go ahead, do that. So that campaign's back up and running now, but I think it didn't start running until Thursday or Friday. So again, another problem. On top of that, although that issue is resolved now, the next issue very closely related to that is at this time, I generally have 2 employees. Right now I'm down to 1, which that's a whole nother thing. We'll get into that in a separate video. But he expressed to me his concern about the lack of hours this week, which totally valid because we didn't work on Monday, we didn't work on Tuesday, we didn't work on Wednesday. So we brainstormed, we talked about it, and, I also explained to him why it was happening. Obviously he knew, but it's important too that he's, sees everything that's going on our end. He is a manager, so I did tell him more than I would have told any other employee. There's a need to know basis. But we brainstormed some ideas, which I will get to now. So, well, first of all, what I did is you want to offer extra hours whenever you can. So on Thursday morning, we met up, we washed the truck. Several reasons why we do that. First of all, professional appearance. We want to look good in front of the customer, and also it just feels good to be in a clean vehicle, being professional. But that also got him about 2 hours. Even with me helping, it took quite a bit of time to clean the truck. It was filthy. But what we really talked about was additional opportunities for hours. He is a manager, after all. He's in training, but he is a manager, and so there are additional responsibilities. And this is a process I'm still learning about, and this is why I make these videos, because I am learning. This is the learning process, and I want to document it. And so I'm going to start offloading some of the administrative tasks to him, like recruiting, possibly some email as well. Start directing some emails in his direction, have him start taking over certain things. But what we really would like to pivot towards, and we'll see if this is the right fit for him. I feel like I'm not a fan of customer outreach. I'm going to phrase it that way. And what I mean by that is going to property managers, realtors' offices, any sort of industry that could benefit from our services other than knocking on people's homeowners' doors. I'm talking about a little bit more larger volume of potential jobs. And it's not something that I enjoy doing. Potentially he might, and so we've talked about that. We have a commission structure laid out, so he gets a portion of every job that he brings in, especially if that's reoccurring. That's actually very lucrative for him, which I want it to be. That's one of the things that's really important to me, is my employees getting excited when additional revenue comes in. The traditional hourly employee is not going to care how much revenue comes into the company. They don't care. They just want their hours. But I'm trying to create a more engaged employee who, when extra revenue comes in that day, they feel it in their wallet. And they should. I think if they work extra hard and they bring in additional revenue, they should absolutely benefit from it. And I think that's what's really going to kind of help build up our culture in some ways, is this strong employee engagement and building of the brand. That's really important. And so I kind of want to sum up where I was in that week. I was very frustrated, especially prior to the conversation. I was very frustrated, and it sucks. It sucks. We frankly speaking, we had a slow week last week. I'm sure some of you have been there. It's just, you just want to like, why is this happening? It sucks. I don't like sitting around on my butt doing nothing. So it was frustrating. But what's really important is, and I'm still working on this. I do not claim to be an expert at this, but managing that frustration and channeling it into something productive. And so what really helped me there was, it was a combination of things, but the first thing is putting myself in my employee's shoes. He's not getting hours. He has bills to pay. He has a family to feed. And it's important to remember that as a small business owner, it's not just about you, it's about your employees too. And I want to provide the best place to grow, the best place to stay. And, he's helping the company should help him. That's what I believe. And so it helped me get refocused on that. And really, that's one of our really important company values, is that we take care of our own. And so what I kind of thought about was, the summer is our busy season. Spring is quite busy as well. And realistically, I told myself, I'm not going to have this sort of opportunity to sit and think and brainstorm and improve processes and train basically until November. Once we really start going, I'm not going to have this kind of free time again. So I told myself, yes, it's annoying. Yes, I would love to be busy right now because we were able to run ads all week and have a marketing campaign, blah, 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 blah. But it's not happening. So what can we do about it? And so we used the time productively, and we brainstormed, and we came up with some ideas. But the ideas we came up was, first of all, like I said, him going to these different businesses. We're still figuring it out, but that's something that he can do. He's willing to do it, and essentially we're going to send him out there with coupons. I feel like I'm a pretty hard sell, and I just don't care when people come and try to sell me something. In fact, it annoys me. But if you come in there and you give me a very basic idea of what you do, and then you give me a coupon, now suddenly I've got an incentive to pay attention here. And we have additional incentives too. So we have a, what's it called? Blanking out here. We have an affiliate program. So anybody who brings us jobs, we pay the commission to. So for example, we work with a estate sale company. We pay them a portion as a thank you because we appreciate other businesses, and this is something that we proactively offer. And so if we're able to, establish a partnership with a property manager or establish a partnership with a different sort of referral partner, absolutely, we are willing to have these businesses be our affiliates, without a doubt. Now there's rules like realtors, right? You can't pay them. But what we do is we give our clients exclusive discounts. So their client can benefit from, they see it as, oh, because I work with this realtor, I get discounts with these companies. So that's something we do. But one of the other things that we decided to do was, I've always thought about doing door hangers, and I never really felt the need to do it because we have been busy enough. But with that said, that was my opinion, that we're busy enough. But I think when you really try to grow and scale, it's the business is so much more than you. It's not just about supporting yourself now. It's about the company. You have to look at it as your income, the company's income, and all your different employees' incomes. And then later on, shareholders, blah, blah, blah. Although I don't know if I'd want to go that far. But I have to look at it as it's no longer just me, right? Me saying I'm happy with the company makes not relevant anymore because I have to look out for my guys. So I have ordered door hangers. We'll see how they work. I've heard that you can expect between 4 and 6% conversion rate. So we'll see how that goes. That would be pretty decent if that's true. I had those designed a while ago, professionally designed. So we'll see how those go. I'm kind of excited to give it a shot. He's willing to hang them. We might even just hang them after jobs. Obviously, we abide by all the signs about no soliciting, all that stuff. So that'll be exciting to give it a shot. That brings me to my next point, which is resilience and adaptability, right? So I had a lot of emotion this week, and I wouldn't say all of it was good. I think some of it was paralyzing, and I'm sure, again, some of you have gone through this, or if you haven't, you will. But that's okay to a certain extent. But what's really important is saying, okay, all right, the truck's in the shop. What can I do, right? What's the point of sitting there and crying about it? Take that time and say, okay, well, maybe this is the time to, work on training my employees, work on procedures, do all these things that you normally wouldn't have had time to do because you're out in the field doing X, Y, Z. And that's really that skill of when things don't work or not working out the way you want them to, you're able to find an angle, or you're able to pivot in such a sense that you're still actually able to come out on top, right? So we may not have had the best week, but we've come up with all these different ideas. I hope my employee feels reassured by what we discussed, and I hope this gives him some reassurance that this is the right place. And this coming week, I plan to spend more time training him. One of the things we're doing is we're going to improve our tracking. I've heard in several places, and I know this to be true, that if you track certain metrics, you track income, you track profitability, you track average hours, all those things, you start really tracking your different metrics. That's how you really improve well, that's one of the ways you really improve your business, because if you don't know what's going on, how are you going to improve it? So we're going to start a little calendar and track daily values, and I want the team to see. I want us to be fairly transparent. Now, we're not going to talk about profit margins in front of everybody, but I want every employee in the company to know, okay, this is how much we made this week, this is how much we made this month. And again, it's going to be something where people can benefit. Like, we hit certain goals for the month, I'm going to take them out to breakfast, or we're going to go out for a nice dinner, or we'll have a company event. I want this culture of we're excited. When we're doing well, everybody's excited about it. Because I know when we have a really good day, I'm freaking excited. So I want everybody else to be that way too. And so what I want to end on here is learning that setbacks can actually be an opportunity, and they can be a pathway to growth. So to anybody watching this who's going through that right now, I understand. I've been there. I was there this week. And I encourage you to flip it around and say, okay, well, this isn't working out, but I can do this. And some certain things are beyond your control, right? And are you going to let it control you even more, right? So I hope this video was helpful to you. I'd love to, post in the comments down below, if you want to share with what's going on, or how you have been in a similar situation, how you overcame it. General thoughts, questions, post them down below. I would really appreciate if you subscribe. That shows me that you find my content engaging. A thumbs up so that more people can see this video. I would love that as well. And I'll see you guys in the next video.